What up, YouTube? So we're getting ready to take a look at the biggest coon nigger that you've ever seen in the history of America and the whole world. Officer Tatum. Now, here's a guy who threatened, if anybody said anything about a racist Charlie Kirk, who said he wanted to get rid of the Civil Rights Act and that Martin Luther King was a bad man. He said he would punch anybody in the face that besmirched, the name of Charlie Kirk or whatever. I guess who said something like that publicly in his face, he'll punch you in the face, right? Mind you, this is a black man, American descendant of slavery and Jim Crow. And Kirk wanted to get rid of the laws that stopped Jim Crow. Make that make sense. And now he's supporting an apartheid state, right? So obviously he likes apartheid states, right? And genocide. And he is being, he's advocating these kind of things, right? He's the advocate for the state of Israel. And so, so it's a nightmare. And so he goes on to Piers Morgan and proves that he's a total ignorant coon niggard, right? Total, in the biblical sense. And so, let's just get into it. Let's just watch him destroy himself, right? And a good example of why you don't coon, right? Because you make yourself look like a fool. And this guy is a total fool. But let's get to it.
Two-state solution idea. They don't. Why are we lying to ourselves? They don't want a two-state solution. They want Israel to be absolved. They do not want a Jewish state. They made it clear, I don't know for how many years.
They want Israel to be absolved. I mean, is this a dumb nigger or what? What does that mean? They want Israel to be absolved? You mean dissolved? This nigger can't even talk correctly. But he's on Piers Morgan, right? This is what they really want black people in the United States to look like. This Officer Tatum guy, a total ignoramus, a total coon, a total tool, right? This is what they're trying to shape all black people into. This fucking nigger can't even he doesn't even understand correct English. But he's on Piers Morgan, trying to argue for an apartheid state that's committing genocide.
Netanyahu, they removed Jews from Gaza and gave it to them. And what did they do in return? They elected a terrorist organization that extracted funding and resources from them to build tunnels to create terrorism against Israel. They cannot live in peace with these people. They continue to fight against Israel and the Jewish state. And I don't understand why we're acting as if that's not so. They've given them their own sovereignty to a certain degree. Imagine if they had their own state.
Officer Tatum, do you think, Officer Tatum, that Palestinians should have the same rights, human rights, as Israelis?
Let me put it in perspective.
It's a yes or no.
I will. Let me get to it. I will.
No, you can't equivocate.
I will answer it.
You either believe that or you don't. The reason I'm asking you, it's so central.
Let me start with your. Let me answer your question first.
It's so central.
Let me answer your question first. Yes.
Okay. Good.
Answer is yes.
Good.
But let me articulate that there was a war fought, and Israel won the war, so they don't have to do anything for anybody.
Wait, what war are you talking about?
1948. Was that not a war that was fought? They got attacked on all sides.
There's been many wars
after they rejected the two-state solution. After they rejected it.
So he doesn't understand the complexity of the situation historically, right? But he continues to make a fool of himself. That's what most white people, Jews, white Jews, immigrants, whatever, they want black people to make a fool out of themselves for them. This is a pure example of that, what they want you to do. To be acceptable to them, you had to make a fool out of yourself. That's a real nigger, right? Let's go to the Bible, right? He said he a Christian. He's sitting there with all these tattoos on his arms of biblical verses. In the Bible, it says, do not get tattoos, right? But he's sitting there with all these biblical verses on his arm. God help us, right? Right? This is a nigger. This is a true nigger, right? What does it say in the Bible? Isaiah 32. It says, A niggard shall no more be called liberal, right? But the nigger, Officer Tatum, will speak wickedly, right? It said, but the nigger will speak of niggardness, and his heart will work iniquity, and he will do wickedly and speak falsely against the Lord, to make empty hungry souls and cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. For the weapons of the churl are wicked. He devised wicked counsels, Netanyahu, to undo the poor with lying words and to speak against the poor in judgment. If that's not Officer Tatum, a fucking coon nigger, then you tell me what is. The Bible is describing the true definition of a nigger, and it's right here, right? The nigger will speak of niggardness, and his heart will work iniquity and do wickedly, and he speak falsely against the Lord, right? And he will make empty hungry souls and cause the drink of the thirsty to fail. Starving Palestinians, Arabs, right? Cause the drink of the... If that's not Officer Tatum, if he is not a nigger coon, then you tell me who is. A sellout nigger coon, right? For the weapons are wicked. He counseled, right? He devises wicked counsel. He got together with Netanyahu to do this. He undoing the poor Arab Palestinians, right? And he's lying and speaking against poor people in judgment. That's this nigger coon, right? So I'm just saying, don't strike my channel and say, hey, you being mean by saying he's a nigger coon. No, the Bible says he's a nigger. Here you go, right here. I'm just reading out the Bible. But let's continue.
Two-state solution. A war is fought, they've won. Every war that has been fought, Israel has won. They've been victorious. They don't owe Palestinians anything, but they're peaceful people.
Which war gave them? Which war gave them the right?
They don't owe them. They don't owe Palestinians anything.
Right? Yeah. No. Actually, I mean, they only owe them what we all owe each other, I suppose. But what?
I mean,
war
you can make
Israel,
that. You can make that argument, but that's not a real argument.
Yeah, it is. What war did Israel?
What is he talking about? I mean, this is one of the most ignorant niggers I've ever seen in my coon niggers I've ever seen in my life. America is finished, man. This is because, I mean, we have maxed out, they maxed out their sellout token coon nigger card. You maxed it out with this guy, Officer Tatum. Right? You maxed it out with him and Candace Owens, Candace Owens. It doesn't get any worse than this. I mean, this is an example, a biblical example of a nigger coon. I'll read it again. And the nigger will speak of niggardness, and his heart will do iniquity, and do wickedly and speak falsely against the Lord. Officer Tatum is claiming that this is ordained by God. What they're doing to the Palestinian Arabs is ordained by God. That's what this guy sitting here, Officer Tatum, is saying, basically, right? That the so-called fake, the false Jew is righteous in doing what they're doing to these people, right? Starving people, right? You speak falsely against the Lord and make empty the hungry soul and to cause the drink of the thirsty Palestinian to fail, right? He devised wicked counsel to undo the poor and lies on Piers Morgan and speak against poor in judgment. Call them terrorists, et cetera, right? Wow. Anyway, let's continue. This guy's horrible, yo.
When that gave them the right to occupy the Palestinians in perpetuity for all of history.
Let's bring into it. But first of all, I don't know why you think it's an occupation. Jews have lived in Israel since the beginning of time, never ceasing to exist in Israel. They were the majority, became the minority.
Yes,
they never ceased to exist
are not
in Israel.
related at all.
Let me finish.
Yes,
Let me finish. What I'm saying is that
I
you're
think
acting
it's
as
an
if
occupation
Jews don't
because
have
it's a military occupation.
See, the white man calls him out. He's like, you're a babbling coon. You're a babbling coon nigger. What you're saying has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. You're just babbling for white people.
Jews, what I'm saying is that Jews have entitlement to the land. Palestinians don't
Jews
have
have
exclusive
entitlement to the land.
So when a war,
what is this nigga talking about? What is this Kewn Niggard talking about? Jews have entitlement to the land? That's not even proper English. I mean, this is a dumb, a stupid, dumb nigger. And the white man is going to call him stupid at the end of this. But let's watch him make a fool of himself.
fault, the Jews can make the decision what they do with Palestinians or not. Just like in America, we can say what we want to do with the Native Americans
so
or
let
not.
me ask you. Okay,
let me
so
finish. Let me finish my point, and I'll answer your question.
Okay, sure.
Just real quick, it'll be a couple seconds. But because we have humanity and dignity, we allow for Native Americans in America to have reservations, and we support them in all of the above. Because Israel and Jews have dignity, they allow them to have swaths of the West Bank. And they allow them to have Gaza, where they elected their own government system. Now, do Israel have...
This motherfucker is the dumbest nigger in the planet, yo. Dumbest coon nigga. And being a coon makes you stupid. Let me help you out. Being a coon nigger makes you a dumbass. Because you got to be dumb. You got to be a weak-minded, dumb fool to do this kind of shit. And because you're a mediocre, you're not intelligent, you're a fucking tool, it comes out in your language. This dude is a fucking ignoramus of huge proportion, and he just puts it on display on Piers Morgan. But let me continue.
Control, I see why. Can't you see? If they had absolutely no control, they had no idea what was coming in through the southern border, through the sea, how much more of a terrorist attack would we see in Israel? It would be even more massive. So I understand that. But when they were offered a two-state solution, why did they reject it?
All right, Dave.
Again, I don't know what period of time you're talking about, what war you're talking about, but so here's a major difference. You might notice this, Pierce, between Native Americans, say in the United States of America. You know, they have citizenship and voting rights, and so at a certain point, if you're going to say okay, yes, that's right. Now, how about the Palestinians living under Israeli control in theEst Bank? They do not have citizenship or voting rights.
And so if they don't have citizenship in Israel.
Right, and Israel's the government that's controlling.
They have elections, don't they?
Listen, Brennan, think about what you're advocating for. That's not you're not addressing the point here. They don't have citizenship in that. You just said that, hey, you understand why Israel is going to control these areas because in your estimation, there'd be more violence if they didn't control these areas. Now, I disagree with that estimation, but whatever. Okay, but then you're saying Israel has control and these people don't have citizenship or voting rights in Israel. If Israel is controlling Gaza and the West Bank and they've got millions of people there who don't have citizenship or voting rights, don't have any say in that government, what would you call that? By the way, we could I could make the argument that there'd be less crime if we just occupied high crime black neighborhoods in America, stripped all the people of their voting rights, of their civil rights, of their natural rights, and we just had a military occupation. But
drowning in credit card debt?
What to do with the Native Americans?
So let me ask you. Okay,
let me finish my point, and I'll answer your question.
Okay, sure.
Just real quick, it'll be a couple. See, if they had absolutely no control, they had
citizenship and voting rights. And so at a certain point, if you're going to say, okay, yes, that's right. Now, how about the Palestinians control these areas? Now, I disagree with that estimation, but whatever. Okay, but then you're saying Israel has control and these people don't have citizenship or voting rights in Israel. If Israel is controlling Gaza and the West Bank and they've got millions of people there who don't have citizenship or voting rights, don't have any say in that government, what would you call that? By the way, we could I could make the argument that there'd be less crime if we just occupied high crime black neighborhoods in America, stripped all the
Okay,
so just be
and in the West Bank,
be very clear.
The PLO has manipulated the people. That's why they have a separate election in Gaza, because the PLO had manipulated the people in the West Bank and they didn't want that governance. So they are governing themselves. Okay. However, you will never see, I've been to Israel, you will never see Jews in Palestine or what you call the West Bank. You will never see them in Gaza. But there are hundreds of thousands of Arabs and Palestinians that work in Israel. I was there, I saw it. I'm even surprised October
nobody's
7th
denying
happened.
that. No, everybody knows Israel's been 20%
Israel is not
for its entire existence.
Israel is not treating Palestinians the way that people are acting like they are.
Okay, I want to.
They gave them freedom.
Okay,
and allowed them to do what they needed to do.
I've got to wrap things. I've got to wrap things. But I wanted to ask Dave one question before we wrap. It's just this: this decision by the UK and other countries to declare a state of Palestine has been, ridiculed by Israelis as simply playing into Hamas's hands, giving them a reward for October the 7th. Is it meaningful to you at all?
Well, I mean, yeah, I think it's somewhat I mean, look, it's obviously a gesture more than anything else, but I do think it's significant that there's at least the feeling that there's a need to make the gesture, I think, is a result of public opinion shifting so greatly on this. But, I got to say, to this, look, first of all, I'll just say a couple things. Number one, right after 9/11, it was Colin Powell, the wisest member of George W. Bush's government, which is not saying much, who went to George W. Bush and said, you got to do a two-state solution now. Like, you have record high approval ratings. 9/11 just happened. This is the time we can get it done. And the reason Colin Powell said that was not because he wanted to give the Palestinians something, but because he knew that this was right at the center of the cause of why there's so much hatred for Americans in the Muslim world. And that we had every single president of my lifetime, with the exception of Trump, wanted a two-state solution. None of them could ever get it done. None of them could ever get it done, in large part because of the enormous power of the Israel lobby in the United States of America.
The Arabs rejected it. Israel agreed.
I know. We heard you say that. Anyway.
No, you need to talk about that.
You're wrong, but okay.
To every single two-state solution.
Okay, yeah, right. Okay. Anyway,
you're telling me I'm wrong?
You know what?
For the 15th time, you're 100% wrong. Benjamin Netanyahu, the longest-serving prime minister, in Israeli history, has made at the center of his entire career thwarting a Palestinian state. He has said this in his own words over and over again. You don't know what you're talking about if you think that Israel has just been trying. No, you're just watching dumb. This fact check. You don't know what you're talking about, dude.
Now you want to
you're calling me a liar. Address the issue. You're calling me a liar, dude, and you're full of shit.
Because
you don't know
factual.
You don't know anything
about this. Officer Tatum. Wait a second. I actually think.
I did what?
If you want, I actually think. Listen, Officer Tatum. I've interviewed Bill Clinton a number of times, and he was emphatic about the fact the closest they came was when he says Arafat walked away from what many people now see was probably the best deal that was ever going to be on the table. I also think the assassination of Rabin was one of those moments from which I don't think anything has ever really recovered from that. Killed by an extremist on his own side. Right?
By a Netanyahu fan.
Right, and that may well be one of the reasons Netanyahu doesn't want to go down the same road. We just don't know. He acts in self-interest and everything else. Look, I've got to leave it there.
Right, so there you go. So the white man, Dave Smith, tells him, right? You don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid. And you can see that the whole time. He's using words in the wrong context, wrong grammatically. He's using words wrong grammatically, out of context, right? Just so he could try to bootlick fucking some white people running an apartheid state in Israel, because he's probably taking money from them, right? He's nothing but a nigger coon. That's all he is, a dumb nigger coon. And this is really what they want for all black people in the United States to be like, right? This is what all these people are aspiring you to be, like Officer Tatum. The people at your job, the people at school, everywhere on Piers Morgan, they want you just to be some dumb nigger coon bootlick, making saying words out of context, lying about facts, right? Just to try to make them feel better about themselves and support crimes that they're committing, right? Genocide, while telling you, what about black on black crime? And then they go kill 200,000 people, right? Supply all the weapons, the bombs, etc., and kill 200,000 people in Palestine. And then ask you about black on black crime. I mean, this is what this Officer Tatum, and then the white man, Dave Smith, clearly tells him, you don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid, right? And a liar. That's true. What does he say? Oh, you're insulting me. No, no one's insulting you. It's a fact. This man is tired of, this white man is tired of tolerating your, he's being honest. You're not. You're just being, in the words of the Bible, and I'm going to end this, right? As it said in the Bible. You're sitting there with all those Bible quotes on your arm. This should be tattooed to this stupid nigger coon's arm, right? A nigger shall no longer be called liberal, right? Nor the churlish. But the nigger will speak of niggardness, and his heart will work iniquity, like Officer Tatum, and he going to do wickedly and work for Israel and speak falsely against the Lord and make empty the hungry soul and to cause the drink of the thirsty to fail, like the Palestinians. Isn't that not what he's doing? Now I know you call him a nigger. Well, the Bible calls him a nigger, right? But and it says specifically, isn't that what he's doing to the starving Palestinians that they're genociding? He's causing the drink. He's a nigger. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at the Bible. Get mad at Jesus Christ. Get mad at the Lord for saying that for describing what Officer Tatum is doing. Don't get mad at me. It says his weapons are wickedness. He devised wicked counsel to undo the poor with lying words and speak against the poor in judgment. Isn't he judging the poor Palestinians for Israel and lying against them? And didn't the man Dave Smith just say, this man, you're stupid and you're a liar? So don't get mad at me. Dave Smith called them out. The Bible called them out. The verdict is in. But the day of the nigger coon in America is over with. That gravy train is over with. I think that you can see what happened to Kirk. That gravy train is over with, right? Like being a propagandist for races is going to get a lot more costly in the future, as you can see. You know, it's getting hot out here. You know, it's getting spooky out here. You know what I mean? We moving into spooky hours, spooky time. And it was a time when running around doing that, I guess, was cool, but I guess you could see what happened to Duke. Man, that shit ain't where it's at. Trying to be a nigger coon propagandist for a bunch of racist Nazis is probably not going to be that's probably not a retirement plan at this point. I don't think. You know, just my humble opinion, right? In my humble opinion. It doesn't look like it's a good look right now. I would find another line of work. You know what I mean? If I was like, you know, this dumb nigger coon. But he probably won't. You see? He probably won't. I mean, you can see how stupid he is. I mean, even the white man said, you don't know what you're talking about. You're just spewing talking points and you're dumb and stupid. I mean, how much more, mind you, the man who called him that was a white Jew, the guy Dave. So, but anyway, yeah, I think there's a lot of lessons that could be taken from that. You know, how it just shows you, you know, what they want you to look like. A reflection of what they're trying to make you into. And the wickedness that they're trying to make you do. I mean, it's right here in the Bible. So when they call this dude a nigger, well, it's some truth to that. When they say, you're a dumb nigger coon, a dumb nigger, they won't call him a coon, but they'll say, you're a dumb nigger. Well, actually, it's some truth to that. In his case, according to the Bible, according to Isaiah 32. So I don't want anybody to say, hey man, you're being mean. No, I'm just reading the Bible, right? Where it says, you know, a dumb nigger will speak of niggardness and his heart will do iniquity and wickedly. That's what Tatum is doing. He's doing wickedness and speak falsely against the Lord and starve people. Well, that's what the Bible says. That's not me, right? Don't get mad at me. I didn't write the Bible. But anyway, on that note, that's all I got. I'll see y'all in the next one.